Hey, Aries. Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here, excited to bring to you your end of the year reading. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Aries, where have you been and where are you going? You start off here with card 40 and it says the land between, the land between. So 2024 for you may have been all about metamorphosis and transformation. It may have felt throughout the year like you were between worlds. You may have even been between that 3D and 4D energy. It's like you were trying to raise your vibrations. You were trying to rise above the fray. Hence, the land between is actually above. You see both of the pathways leading and it's above. So I feel like you kept getting sucked back down. You kept getting sucked back down into maybe situations that you were trying to rise up from. And it feels like you had one foot in this door, one foot over here, but you couldn't quite bridge the gap, or it felt like things weren't solid or on solid footing for long. Okay, so it may have been a little bit of a roller coaster for you in 2024. And I do see that there's been a lot of reflection, a lot of discoveries. Bottom of the deck here, you have smoke and mirrors. Things aren't as they seem, right? You may have been on the search for the truth in your relationships, the truth in your career, in your health. I feel like the golden mirror has been held up and you are seeing multifaceted versions of your realities. And it feels like something wasn't quite as it seemed. You're like, wait a second, is this an illusion? Is this a lie? Is this true? And I feel like you've done a lot of soul searching in 2024, a lot of questioning, what is the purpose of this? Is this person being faithful? Is this a job that has the potential to grow? So what I see you doing in 2025 is really being able to quiet the mind and tap into that lion within. You have waking the lion and you have quieting the mind. So this is all about meditating. Some of you have a really good meditation practice, or you've honed in on your skills where you're able to tap into that 4D or that higher frequency. Maybe on a dime. Maybe this is about you getting out in nature. It could be while you are showering. It could be while you're driving. You're able to quiet the mind and really allow that strength part of you to shine through with the lion card here. This is about overcoming difficulty and self-control. It is about the inner strength to face fears. Okay, because some of you may have doubted your path. You may have doubted because of the smoke and mirrors, because you were between worlds. For some of you, you may have even been a world apart. Okay, maybe this is a world apart from your relatives, from a loved one. You may have moved in 2024. Okay, there's something here about shattering an illusion. Shattering through maybe even a glass ceiling. But I definitely like where you are going because there's something deep within you, Aries, that has been awakened. And this part of you that's been awakened is rising up to meet the occasion in a sense. This is about you having the courage to really honor your integrity and take a leap of faith where it is required. And you see that this lion, he's magical and bold, and he's showing up in this powerful sacral and solar plexus energy, this orange and this red. So it's fiery and you are fiery. So Leo season could be significant. Okay, Leo season, Sag season, or even Aries season with Waking the Lion. But I am getting here potentially July or August of 2025 could be a very important time for you in career or in relationships. And I will dive in further next week. I will be putting out monthly forecast for the year ahead. So basically your 2025 readings. So let's dive in here and take a look at 2024 in summary. Tell me about Aries year, a summary overview of 2024, and what has Aries learned? What are the lessons from 2024? All right, we have the World. The World in reverse tells me that there may have been delayed gratification. For some of you, this has been a long journey that you've been on. Now, the World is the last card in the major arcana. It's the last part of one's journey before we enter into a beautiful beginning. The World is all about sacred contracts and infinite possibilities. And I see you have learned a lot. You've learned a lot because you cannot not learn a lot when you start from the Fool, right? You start at the very beginning of the journey and you go through all of the major arcanas and hit the World. There's a lot that you've learned. So when this macaw shows up, which is represented by the World, you're rolling into the new year with a new perspective on life. And you're already feeling this now, but this is the card of enlightenment. It's the card of travel, of freedom, of new beginnings. And you have graduated in a sense. I do feel that for you. You've graduated and you may have even gotten married. There could have been a graduation. Perhaps there was a lot of travel. This can also be about exploration, exploring the multifaceted layers upon which you are in this human consciousness. And I feel like there's parts of yourself that you didn't even realize, like, wow, that is a really amazing gift, or wow, I didn't feel like I was capable of that. But the fact that you have the Lion here, you are capable of so much, and you may be realizing your potential now. You may be really stepping out of that curtain. It kind of looks like he's behind a curtain. It gives me High Priestess vibes. So perhaps some of you, this is your spiritual gifts. You are opening up here to something quite profound. Now, what are the lessons that you've learned from 2024? Letting go, because sometimes the World can be letting go of relationships, or letting go of patterns, letting go of illusions that keep us stuck between lands, going back and forth and back and forth. Polarity, diversity, adversity even. It feels like you've been caught like monkey in the middle. Some of you may have, in fact, been like a monkey in the middle regarding a situation. Maybe this was a triangulation. For others of you, it was maybe family drama or some drama at work. And I say drama because we have the Two of Wands and the Five of Swords. When the Five of Swords shows up as a lesson, it's not a fun lesson to learn, because it's like that fly constantly buzzing in your ear. And if you've ever had a fly or a mosquito buzzing in your ear, like while you're trying to sleep or while you're trying to do anything for that matter, even, buzzing over your food, it is annoying. And so I feel like there's a lesson here that was very annoying. Maybe it kept showing up over and over and over again for you throughout the duration of 2024. This can even be a win at all costs. Personality, I do not love the Five of Swords when I see them in another person, although each and every one of us have these characteristics within us. But those of us that really sit in the Five of Swords for a long time, it's not fun to be around that person. They can be selfish. They can be angry. They can be a poor sport. They can bully. They can coerce. They can manipulate. They can resent, right? They can fight an unfair fight. And typically it's a battle of the egos where there are no winners. And even if this person claims victory, like, oh, I won this victory, it's not really a victory because karma is going to come back. And I feel like this is pride before the fall. And so a lesson in 2024 may have been humbled, may have been a humbling experience. It may have been that you finally swatted that fly out of your life, right? You finally squashed it with the fly swatter. And I feel like you've learned to balance something here. You may have learned to balance your distractions because like I said, that 5 of Swords can be a distraction. This can be a fly in your ear. It can be that little voice within you that tells you to put it off, to procrastinate, to not take that leap of faith, to not, start your YouTube channel, or to not exercise today, right? Or to not pick up the phone and apologize, or to whatever it may be, right? It's that voice. But typically the 5 of Swords is more than one person. But for some of you, I feel like this is something within you that may have been catching your attention. It could have been a habit or a pattern or something within yourself that was causing you to need to pay attention to it. It could be the self-talk, and it could be like the good, right? The altered ego over here. And then, like the wounded ego. It feels like there's been a little bit of a battle of the egos going on. And I see that you're dropping it. You're dropping this fly. I feel like you're kicking it to the curb here. It's no longer showing up as a distraction, but man, you had to learn a tough lesson from it. Now, the 2 of Wands is represented here by the flamingo. And when it comes to lessons, this is about a balancing act and needing to take the first step. And that's what has happened with the 5 of Swords. You had to take the first step, but it had to get your attention. So whatever this 5 of Swords was in your life, it had to get your attention in order to maybe upset you so much that you would do something about it and that you would take the first step. Because sometimes the 2 of Wands, this is asking the universe, right? It can be prayers. It can be a decision point. It can be, asking for direction. But it is up to us to quiet the mind, right? Didn't you get the quieting the mind? Yeah. To really trust in that inner compass, because your biggest manifesting partner is spirit. And you always have the ability to tap in to that always flowing, universal energy that's always there. And I see that there had been distractions for you where you lost sight. You lost sight of that flow. And you may have tipped over from time to time with the flamingo. But what I see is you've learned how to get back into balance. You've learned how to recognize when you're feeling off kilter. And it does require a bit of surrender. It requires you to explore multiple opportunities or multiple timelines. And basically what timelines are choices. So you have more choices than you think. And that's why you are showing up in 2025 as waking the lion. You're like, wait a second, I'm not trapped. 2s are all about choices. And when the lion remembers that he's a lion, he's not a mouse. I feel like then you're really stepping in to who you are. And this is you finding balance in your life where it feels imbalanced. But you're going to make a new choice here. All right, let's take a look at your aspirations for the next 12 months. What are your aspirations here? And what is empowering you to reach those goals? What are some of the goals over the next 12 months? We'll just take a sneak peek there in that area. What are the goals showing up, please, for Aries? The Page of Cups, beautiful. Page of Cups is surprising insights. It's highly intuitive and highly creative energy. So for some of you, you're coming up for air. If you felt like you've been drowning, okay, if you felt like you've been drowning, or it just feels like your emotions may have got the best of you from time to time, which it does to us all, right? Or maybe you felt like you've been missing some signs. I feel like there is a surprising insight or multiple of them coming in for you. This is also artistry. This is highly creative. You could be focusing on your intuitive, creative talents over the next 12 months. I also see here with the Page of Cups, this is about you opening the heart up again. This could be about you opening up to love. And maybe that's been difficult with the smoke and mirrors because there has been a lot of illusions. There may have even been people who've taken advantage of your beautiful heart here, Aries. But I see over the next 12 months, you're creating something quite beautiful and something quite stable. You have the King of Pentacles. Some of you, this is calling in a love union with the King of Pentacles. For others of you, this is a creative project or idea that has the potential to be very wealthy, to be very, powerful. Because why? Well, you're stepping into your power. You're waking that lion. And the lion, he knows when to pounce. If you've ever watched a lion out in the wild, like chasing after his prey, he's very suave, he's very smooth, and he knows when it's time to strike. And I feel like whatever it is that you are striking on, it's creative. It's something that you're good at here. It's something you're staying open to, you're curious about. But there's the possibility to bring in a lot of abundance here, a lot of stability. The rhinoceros is the King of Pentacles. So this is working your way to the top. And I feel like this is empowering you. So even if this is a new project or a new relationship or something is in the beginning stages, you're going to go all the way with this one. This is beautiful. I'm excited to do your 2025 reading and see what that entails. All right. What may challenge you? What may challenge you, or what has challenged you the most? And is it something that is going to continue playing out for you in the new year? Or is this something that can benefit you? Let's look at that. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yep, you're stepping out of that loophole. Whatever has challenged you, you've squashed it, right? You had that fly swatter in your hands, and even though sometimes in 2024, you were swinging that fly swatter all around, right? And you missed it. It was like it was mocking you. It was teasing you in a sense. But after a while, it's like you got good, and you may have caught that fly with some chopsticks, right? I forget what movie that is, Karate Kid, where he catches the fly with the chopsticks. It almost feels like you've perfected something here. It feels like you've gotten really good at not letting distractions overtake you. Wheel of Fortune is showing up here saying this is a cycle that you've completed. This is a major karmic cycle even for some of you. It's also about luck. So what may challenge you at times, I feel like you will remember that you already played out a specific karmic cycle. So whatever challenges are showing up, they're going to be new. They're going to be new, but you'll be able to approach them through a new lens, through a new sense of curiosity, because you also have the Death card here. You have the Death card, which is all about destruction, renewal, and truth. The difference that I see showing up for you with the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune is you're not going to let things go past their expiration date. That's a big lesson that you learned from 2024. Is when something is done, when something is dead, just like that fly, right? Yes, you could have another fly show up. You know that sometimes they come in swarms, they come in dozens. And even if you kill one fly off, it's like there's so many of them. But I feel like, again, you're kind of going from taking that fly swatter, looking like a baboon, going everywhere with it, going crazy with it, to now you're holding the chopsticks and you're saying, all right, I got this. But it feels like you're mastering some sort of skill. Okay, there's something you are mastering. I'm getting that word, mastery. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the Eight of Pentacles showing up for you. If not in this reading, definitely your 2025 reading. But renewal and truth could pose a threat or a challenge to others, and other people could try to wreck that for you or ruin that for you. But I feel like you're going to notice it. You're going to recognize it because you're going to say, I have worked too hard to let anyone come in and distract me or to veer me in a direction that's just not healthy. And that's what you've learned. There's a cycle. There's a new cycle of life that you are entering into. And I feel like this is a really powerful King of Pentacles cycle. All right, let's look at how are you ending the year when it comes to relationships and emotions. Whoa, okay. How do we want this here? Okay, relationships, emotions. We're going to look at career, and we're going to look at health and well-being and your spiritual energy. So we're going to take all four of these that fell, but we're going to look at those four categories. So relationships and emotions, how are you ending the year? The Frog. The Frog card is the Four of Cups, new opportunities. There's something here that you've been contemplating when it comes to your emotions. You've been sitting on this lily pad, and I feel like December is a month where you are in contemplation here, possibly around something of the past. Perhaps you've been feeling stubborn or frustrated or impatient or even emotionally stagnant at times. But the beautiful thing about the Four of Cups is there's an opportunity for a brand new beginning. There's an opportunity for a turning point. And that's what it says. There's a new opportunity, but sometimes the frog doesn't see that because he's comfortable on his lily pad. But I do see you jumping off of that lily pad here, taking a leap of faith and entering into the water, right? What is water? Emotion. So for some of you, that's part of this new journey that you are being called to explore in 2025 is jumping into maybe some different emotions than you've been feeling. Okay, so there's a new opportunity coming up for you. And you're contemplating, that's where December is leaving you, in a little bit of that contemplation, but you're going to make a choice. There's a new choice here that you're going to make, and that is going to be the turning point to get you up out of this stagnation and to embrace the new. I like that when it comes to your heart, when it comes to your relationships, because you've definitely been through a lot. Some of you some endings, some of you some big transformation with that death card here. So big emotions with the Four of Cups, but I feel like you're finding stability within them. You're rebalancing them back out because four is the card of balance. Four is the card of stability. So if you felt like your emotions have been on either overdrive or you haven't felt much lately, maybe it's been at times like you've just been numb, or it feels like you've been on autopilot. I mean, December is a big catalyst month for you. I feel like that in many areas, but it looks like it's a big catalyst month when it comes to your emotions. All right, let's look at career, work, finances. How are you ending the year? The Devil. The Devil is about bondage, but it's showing up in reverse. So when the Devil shows up in reverse, you're going through a spiritual awakening. Some of you, it felt like you were living in darkness in some sense when it comes to your career, your work, or your finances. And I feel like this awakening, this release with the Devil, this liberation, some of you are letting go of a toxic job, something that even felt like the sharks were coming at you. For others of you, I'm getting Shark Tank, right? And that could be part of that Page of Cups. You could have an idea. You could have an inspiration to create something that's never been created, or to start, maybe create an application or an app. This could be writing a book. I feel like you could take something to Shark Tank. I mean, maybe not literally, maybe literally, but I feel like you have the ability to grow this, and it can be very abundant within your career. But if you've been dealing with something toxic in your work environment, or when this comes to your career in any way, this is a really good month to reflect. And it's a really good time for you to release and liberate yourself from whatever is holding you hostage, whatever is binding you. And it could even be utilizing that Page of Cups energy and coming up with new solutions, because I see multiple ways of exploring the opportunities coming in for you. So let's look here at health and well-being. How are you ending the year? The puffer fish, the 9 of Cups. This is really big, big energy here. Now with the puffer fish, even though this is a really good card of wishes granted and satisfaction and pride, I am getting inflammation, and I'm also getting overindulging. So just be mindful of overdoing it. Sometimes around the holidays, we tend to eat too much, or if you like to partake in alcoholic beverages. I mean, this is about not getting out of hand or getting out of line, because if you find balance in that, I feel like you'll feel a lot better. You'll thank yourself. There's something about inflammation though in the body, something you may be allergic to. For those of you that have allergies, be mindful of what you are ingesting or what you are eating. You may also discover that you have some sort of food allergy, and you may not realize that it's in a certain food. Okay, or that you even have that allergy at all. Some of you, it's gluten sensitivity. For others of you, maybe you're not able to even drink alcohol anymore. This can be taking a look at your sugar intake, your caffeine intake. So when it does come to health and well-being, I feel like you are trying to take care of yourself the best that you can here. But the 9 of Cups also is saying, don't go overboard. Okay, don't go overboard. All right, let's look at your spiritual energy and inner fulfillment. How are we ending the year? The snake with the tower. Oh my goodness. The tower is showing up as destroying old structures. Okay, this is actually a really good thing when it shows up with inner fulfillment, because the tower is saying there's a new beginning. There's a massive awakening, and this is also change, and it's Aries energy here. So I feel like there's transformation, and look at that. We have liberation on the tower. So something potentially when it comes to career, work, or finances, you could be liberating yourself from something. I also see you, Aries, shedding an old skin, and you're going to finally shed this skin definitely come Aries season, but I'm getting a February and March energy, but it feels like Aries, and that could be, the start of the astrological new year. And I see that there's some shocking changes that are afoot, that are coming in. And I'm also getting some form of communication, because the snake here is blue. This is the throat chakra. So there could be some sort of communication that comes in and shocks you, but it actually liberates you. This could also be you delivering some shocking news, but you are transforming. And I feel like you may shock everyone, but this is what you need to do for your health and well-being. This is part of a wish that you have, right? There's some sort of wish being granted, and I feel like it has to do with the shark. It has to do with career, work, and finances. And for some of you, it has to do with relationships and your emotions with the 4 of Cups. There is something coming in here for you that is going to leave you feeling very satisfied. I will tell you that, very satisfied. But I feel like that has more to do with maybe the first or second quarter of 2025. But right now, you're being liberated from it. Now let's look at what you need to focus on most, or what you should focus on most that is for your highest good. What do you need to focus on most for your highest good? The Hierophant, big business. This is tradition. This can also be spirituality, and it's represented here by the stag. So focus on your higher power. This is about your teachings. This is about connecting to mentors, connecting to spiritual advisors, or, even the higher divine within yourself. And I also see it's very important to shed limiting beliefs. So if you notice that you are feeling stuck in a repetitive belief pattern, that could be part of why the devil and the tower is showing up here for you, because you are standing proud. You are showing up as the stag here, and Spirit wants you to focus on your spirituality. And again, big business, it says. So some of you, this has to do with your business, with your finances, with your career. You could be taking something to the next level. You could be a teacher. You could be going back to school. You could be the student or the teacher here with the Hierophant. But I also see a mentorship of some sort. Some of you, you could be mentoring another, or you have someone very influential that is here to guide you, that is here to coach you and to help you on your path. And I feel like it's important to focus on that energy. And this could even be a spiritual guide that you are connecting with. So focusing on that spiritual piece could actually fulfill you also when it comes to business, because you're going to be that clear channel for intuitive hits, for new ideas, new creations to open up, for you to open up too. All right, let's take a look at one of the most important lessons coming in for you. What is one of the most important lessons coming in for you? Just one, please. Thank you. 5 of Cups. Okay, better times ahead. Better times ahead is what the manatee reminds you. It says better times ahead there, especially if there has been loss, because there's something here about hidden solutions. The most important lesson with the 5 of Cups is that past pain always recedes and hope will emerge once again. We don't always see it while we're going through some sort of loss, disappointment, betrayal, bitterness, right? Depression. But I feel like there's something Spirit wants you to hang on to, and that's hope, right? Hope that better times are coming in for you. And I absolutely feel they are. And that is a lesson here, because Spirit wants you to look back on times that were very difficult or very challenging for you, even prior to 2024. And you know that, yes, there's been difficulties, but you've rose up, right? You've gained this different perspective about life because of what you've gone through. But I also am getting the message here about not letting life harden you, not letting your circumstances define you in a sense, because there's always a comeback. And one of my favorite sayings, if you've been listening to me for a while, you've probably heard me say it a million times: the comeback is stronger than the setback. And that's what the 5 of Cups reminds you. The comeback is stronger than the setback. But boy, oh boy, when we're feeling setback, it's tough, right? It's tough. So have hope. Don't lose sight of, who you are, and that you're making a big difference here on planet Earth, that you are here for a reason, Aries. So let's get a final message here. Overall, where are you headed in 2025? Where are you headed in 2025? If you heed the messages that we talked about, if you learned the lessons that the year has taught you, what does your 2025 look like? Sneak peek before we dive in next week. Can we get a sneak peek, please? Okay. Thank you. Ace of Cups. Look at that. Yeah. See, it's worth the wait, you guys. worth the wait. It took a few shuffles there, and that usually never happens. You know that the cards fly out right away, but we had to shuffle a few different times. So it feels like there's been something you've been waiting on, Aries, something you've been waiting on. Now, 2025, a sneak peek in a nutshell, is the Ace of Cups, represented by the Nautilus here, which is pure joy. It's true fulfillment and divine inspiration. That is absolutely wonderful. All aces represent gifts, and this is the gift of love. It is self-love. It can be the love of a new connection. It can be a love for what you do, a love for who you are, the people that you surround yourself with. It is a soul quenching renewal. And I feel like you are going into this with curiosity. You're going into this with positivity and hope and inspiration. This is beautiful, Aries. And for some of you, you had to go through some sort of emotional imbalance with that 4 of Cups and even 5 of Cups here. Something emotionally was challenging or triggering for you to go through. But I do see 2025 opening you up. And that was a big part of the lesson, right? Is to not let something harden you. And you're saying, no way, Mel, I am not letting that little fly get in my ear and tell me that I have to sit down, right? Ooh, okay. Someone was told to like sit down or like be quiet or that they weren't allowed to do something. I'm just getting an energy of someone saying sit down, and maybe they didn't actually say that, but that's what the energy feels like. And you're rising up, and I feel like you're facing whatever that energy was. Maybe it was a person, maybe it was a part of your own worth that told you to take a seat, right? Take a seat. I feel like that's why you have the waking the lion, because there's a part of you that says, why the hell would I sit down, right? I am roaring. This is my voice. Hear me roar. But it's confident. It's a healthy confidence. And I feel like you're taking something that you've gone through, even some sort of manipulation or some sort of challenge, right? That 5 of Swords, that fly energy, you're taking that and you're saying, I will not be shushed. I will not be cornered, and I will not be taken advantage of. And that is what is really awakening within you. And I see 2025 as a sneak peek with this Ace of Cups. This is you finding your people, finding your voice. This is about you really standing up and stepping into your power. So beautiful energy here, Aries. I'm excited. Yes, you've gone through a heck of a year in 2024, but with the B here, Wheel of Fortune, there's been a lot of karmic cycles that you are exiting out of. And that's why your first card out here is the World. Yeah, you're exiting out of some karmic cycles, and you're not going to, again, you're not going to be shushed. And that's a big energy here. Aries, you don't like to be shushed anyway, but I feel like there may have been someone or something that tried to do that and it's backfired, or maybe they do try to do that and it's going to backfire on them. And I do feel like there's someone external that still is replaying out a karmic cycle. This could be someone at work. It could be a family member. It could be a lover. I feel like they are still working through some of their karma, but you have exited, and I feel like you're ready for this new beginning. And that's why you have the Ace of Cups stepping into your 2025. That is what I have for you, Aries. Super exciting. I'm loving this for you. If you like the message, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. And thank you so much for being here and tuning in. Lots of love.